And so in the Journal and in the Times, it's again the military chiefs. It's the commander of CENTCOM or the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who talked Trump out of this and tell him, Mr. President, there ain't no point in doing this. It's not going to work. We just got more guys killed, but we actually didn't accomplish anything. So now we can double and triple that. But we're just George W. Bush now. We're not getting anywhere with that if we do that. So that was why he quit. So I think it sucks because, well, here's the rock and the hard place, right? He lost the war, but he has no way to get out of it without looking like Joe Biden leaving Afghanistan.
He's in a box.
Humiliation, right? They're going to call him Barack Obama. And that was what, even Lindsey Graham said, oh, you just tell him that he'll look like Barack Obama and then he's clay in your hands, do whatever you say. And so he's just so afraid. And this is a problem with our system. You got to say, if we had a parliament, Kelley, we could just call no confidence and put a new guy in there whose fault this isn't and let him try to resolve it, Or if Trump would just step down and let the vice president try to negotiate a thing. I'm not saying I'm a huge partisan of the guy, but I'm just saying because of what us libertarians and, there's this whole thing called public choice theory, which is just the economics of politics, right? As Obi-Wan Kenobi would say. And all it means is that Trump's worried about himself. And, the government will try to call itself America, the country, all they want, but it's not. It's the people with the power over the country. And Donald Trump, who made, in his words, he said, the foolish decision to start this war, now can't get out of it without looking like a jerk. And that's what it comes down to, is he can just say, okay, I'm a jerk. I shouldn't have done this. Boy, what a mess up that was. But that was the old me, and everything's going to be fine now. He can't just say that. And if he could, then everything would be much better, and we could really just call this whole thing off.
Right.
And pull back. Remember, Joe Kent said, don't even make a deal. Joe Kent said, just cut and run, man. Just cut and just, turn around and come home from the region and ignore it. Forget the whole thing ever happened.
I agree with Joe. Because the one complicating factor, the biggest complicating factor, is the Strait of Hormuz. And so he could sit there and be stubborn all he wants, but that means there's no traffic getting through. And that is going to hit this economy so hard. So if he really cares about, his political survival, those midterms are coming down like a freight train. But moreover, if he actually gives a shit about Americans, like he can't sit out there forever like a baby. He just can't, because that traffic needs to get through. And now the Houthis are like, you ain't coming through the Red Sea. So we're going to block you over here, which means like Suez. And then that whole African route is all fraught in terms of costs. So yeah, he can sit out there all he wants because he's in a box, but it's going to really, really, really hurt his approval ratings. Yeah. And my financial situation and your financial situation, because it's all gonna bleed down. It's already hurting people.
Yeah, and well, speaking of Mark Thiessen, right? This was there was a clip of him on Fox News saying, "Oh, boo-hoo, you can't stomach $4 a gallon gasoline. If we can't stomach that, then we're no longer a superpower." And it's like, yeah, but you're just saying that because that's the tiniest marginal percent of your income. There are other people who spend 100% of their income trying to survive, Mark Thiessen.
That's
who
right.
Don't get to be torture apologists for a living.
Right. They have to get in their car and drive to work every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he's sitting on his ass in his pajamas on his keyboard fighting the wars.
Yeah, working for Bezos, right? Getting paid probably, let's just pretend and guess, somewhere in the very high hundreds of thousands of dollars a year at minimum to write this garbage.
And go on Fox News